President Trump is in office now. What say you, folks? Let's do it! Hello, folks. This is Hard Hat Conversations. I'm your host, Richard. It's Monday, January 20th, 2025. We're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday, those who celebrate it. It's freezing here in Cleveland, Ohio. This is where I'm stationed at. And, folks, guess what? We got us a new president. Okay, let's get this show going. It's going to be like a little rapid fire. As you can see, folks, I'm a little scruffy. My beard growing out. I've been sick over the past week and a half. I'm starting to feel better. So hopefully by the end of this week, I can get all the rest of that stuff out of the way and I can be back to normal. But I was compelled to do a little 5 or 10 minute show today because of the president being elected for the second time. And I looked at a little bit of it, folks. Whether you like them or not, there's some good and bad, of course. I think the good outweigh the bad, in my opinion. For instance, let's get to it right away. One thing President Trump talked about, we all know their speeches and stuff, so don't get me wrong on that. We're not going to get all into that. But one thing I like about what President Trump did, he talked about God a lot, you know. I know some of you going to say, well, he ain't no godly man. Well, you know, most of us are not. That's why we go to church, read the Bible, ask for forgiveness, repent. That's why we do all those things, because we all come short. So if you're ready to get in that judgment box, you're going to be sitting in that judgment box by yourself. Because, you know, we all do wrong things, and we try to do the best we can not to do the wrong thing. But I'm not here to preach about that. That's a subject for another day, folks. So the only reason I mentioned that he talked about God today, because one thing touched me a little bit, not on what he said, but during the election and all this rhetoric stuff that was going on real quick. Let me look at my notes, folks. You know, I got to go to my notes a little bit. And I got a question for my church-going folks. How can you support people, and I'm not even talking about a Democrat or a Republican, just people running for office. Let's do it that way. How can you support someone? And you can like, subscribe, comment, help me out on this, because I have my own reason for it too as well, my own answers. How can you support someone that we have abortion as one of the main issues. I know I talked about this before. And I think Trump is pro-life. You know, you don't agree with abortions. And not just because he don't agree with it, I don't agree with it either. You know, I don't think you should take another life unless it has to be an emergency, of course. But like I said before, we're using it like we're using it as a remedy, like we're getting over a hangover or we got a bad headache. We can't be doing that, folks, if we are God people. So my question is to my church-going folks: how can you support candidates or anybody that agree to abortions? You're killing a life. The science, people always say follow the science. The science say it's conceived, it's a living being. So if you go murder somebody, you take a life, you go to jail for that, right? Am I right or wrong? Like, subscribe, comment. So let's say if I shoot a woman, well, not say shoot a woman, or a woman pregnant get hurt, you push her, knock her down or whatever, and the baby died. Do you know they can charge you for 2 murders? I think they can. 2 murders. So if a woman go to an abortion clinic and say, I just don't want to have a baby, ain't nothing wrong with me, I just had a party too much Hennessy or Ciroc or whatever, and I just don't want to have this baby, I just want to get rid of it. Is that okay, folks? I'm asking my church-going people. Is that okay? Because we support a lot of these candidates that support that type of stuff. You know, they'll throw in, oh yeah, if it's incest or risk the mother life. That's common sense, folks. Everybody agree with that. But just to get up and say I don't want it no more and just throw it to the next trash, you know, come on, we can't support that, folks. You know, so you need to check yourself while you're judging other folks as well. Let's go on out to my church going folks. How can you support candidates and people that say that's okay? And also, folks, how can you support candidates that break the rules? We know rules, some rules are bad, and like I said, that's why we have amendments and we protest and get some of them changed. But some of the rules are good for our society. You know, we have processes that we have to go through to keep some type of order. So some of the stuff he was saying is like just to keep order. He's not playing God or anything. He just talking about that's what's already on the books. Like your border. There's stuff on the books about the border. You can't cross the border. It's no different than you need a passport to go to Paris and stuff like that. Try to go to Paris or one of those vacation spots on a cruise that you so-called people like to go on, and go without a passport. See what happens. You're going to get turned around. So what's the difference between on the American side? What's the difference? You can go to that country and say, oh, you're poor, you're sick, you're hungry. That's fine. We understand that. But there's a process that we have to go through. But instead of focusing energy on saying that we're supposed to do everything when somebody come over from another country, we're supposed to just do everything, fall on our hands and knees and just give them up everything. We're supposed to help. But you know who you really should go after? That country. If that many people is leaving a certain country, then we need to stop doing business with that country. That country is torturing its people. What you think, folks? Not just my church-going people, but an everyday person. Should we focus more on that country than just say, okay, we just let everybody in. Okay, let somebody come to your house and you got 2 extra rooms. Let them come on in. You wouldn't like that, would you? They'll suck up all your resources, eat up your food and stuff like that. And you are the same people that's crying about we don't have no, there's no affordable housing around. Well, what do you think if you keep letting other people come in and it get more crowded and you don't even have enough to feed your own family? What do you think's going to happen? See, there's a difference between helping and enabling. There's a set of rules and laws that we have to keep us from hurting each other. It is. I don't like a lot of the rules, but I understand that some of those rules is to keep the peace. Those that crying about it, they haven't lived in those bad neighborhoods. A lot of them haven't when lights cut off. A lot of them don't know about drugs on every corner where your little kid can't walk to school because you're scared somebody might attack them. See, a lot of those people out there that's hollering about, oh, we're too cruel, we need to let everybody in, we need to give everything away, even though your own backyard is catching hell, all your major black cities. Even in the poor white neighborhoods, they catching hell. But we want to bring everybody else in and add them on in. And that's supposed to make it better. No, it's going to make it worse, folks. That's not cruelty, that's reality. Food stamps don't grow on trees. Obama phones don't grow on trees. Folks, all these handouts don't grow on trees. They coming from somewhere. They're coming from anybody that works and pays taxes. That's where it's coming from. So the more you let in and the more you just give to the ones that are already here that don't want to do anything, that's more tax now they got to come out of your check. Your tax is going to rise just like food prices going to rise. Because when you bring in more, instead of you just giving $5, next year you're going to have to give $6. Next year $7, $7. That's how it works, folks. It just don't, money just don't pop up like that. They got to take it from you to give to them. And like I said, there's a difference between helping and enabling. We enable a lot of people. And that's the fact. I've seen a lot of disabled people working, doing part-time jobs, folding boxes, doing whatever they're able to do to help society out. I'm talking about the ones that just want to sit at home and don't want to do nothing. Those are the ones that's the problem. They think they're entitled to something. They can just sit at home. They're in so much agony or they can't do anything. If you can move, if you can do something, there's something you can do. There got to be something that you can contribute. Instead of just sitting there watching TV, getting high, drinking, or whatever you're doing. You have to be a productive citizen. All of us. None of us want to work, but nothing won't get done if none of us work. That's the reality. Everybody go to work with some type of pain. I know I do. And I know you do. There's always something wrong. But we know we have to do it to a certain point. Now, I know there's some that just can't do nothing. There's a few, but that should be a small amount. It shouldn't be like this. And that's where it is now. It's like this. It's huge. It used to be like this. But now it's like this. And then we're going to bring more people too. Come on, folks. Let's start thinking right. Like I said before, one day it's going to be at your door, and then you're going to be crying to the government to do something. And guess what? It's going to be too late. Too late. Just like those wildfires out there in California. All those I don't have all the facts, folks, so I'm not painting a broad brush. But what little bit I saw, like I said, I've been sick for a week and a half. What little bit I caught on, a lot of those folks are well off. And what I mean by well off, they ain't got to worry about the light bill every month. They ain't got to worry about, do they have enough money left after they pay their bills, to pay their rent, gas, clothes, medical. See, they don't have to worry, those type of people don't have to worry about those small, everyday life things. So a lot of them are well off, living up there on that hill. A lot of them got the means. Remember Katrina, folks? A lot of those people didn't have the means to relocate. They built camps for those people. You don't see the Red Cross running up in there like you did for Katrina, do you? Oh, they're around, but they ain't setting up tents. Those people got money, they got means. They going to live with their neighbors or somewhere else. They can move. They got extra houses, a lot of them. There may be a handful that don't, but they got means though. But the people like in Katrina type time, they didn't have nothing. It was on their back. So a lot of them can recover easily. And not wishing on nothing, on nobody, but hopefully some of them, when they lose all that, it can make you think a little differently how you treat people and how you help people when you have a lot of extra stuff. It can make you think. So hopefully out of all this mess, the ones that survive can reevaluate themselves and say, man, I miss my house. Just like I would miss my house or my apartment that's blown up or burnt down. But man, I had so much. I could have gave some of that stuff away or helped somebody. So maybe that'll evaluate you a little bit when you see devastation like that, if you have a lot of stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you to just give up everything and be poor, but you know what I mean. So let me go to my notes, folks. Another thing Donald Trump said on the inauguration, he said something about there's only two types of genders. I agree with that. There's a male and a female. All that other stuff, I'm sorry, folks. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's a mental issue. I don't know what it is. But I know one thing, with science, I'm going by the science, there's only a male and a female. All that other stuff, you can debate, talk about it, whatever. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm just not one of them that I just don't understand that, you know. But I know by the science, there's a male and a female. You know, some of you may not like that, but that's just the way it is. I didn't choose to be a male or a female. It was just happening. I just know it's two genders. And I like that. Because when you start going in that other place, you start confusing folks. I think it's some confusion. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the science will help us out and say we're missing some chromosome or something in our brain and thinking we something else. I have no clue what no binary is. What is that? All I know is male and female. I'm keeping this simple, folks. I'm keeping it real. That's all. Not beating up on nobody. Just going with the science. They always say go with the science. Then they say go with the science with COVID. So let's not forget all that stuff now. Let me go to my notes again. I think that's about it, folks. Like I said, I'm still healing. I look a little rough. I just came out the cave. There's a lot of stuff going on always in our world, good and bad. I like to talk about both. And I always say on this show, Hard Hat Conversations, we're not here to beat up on nobody. We're just here to find the truth and get some solutions. And the only way you can do that, folks, is what? Debate, talk about it, be honest about it. That's the only way we're going to get around it. If we don't be honest about it, talk about it, and try to find solutions, guess what, folks? We'll be like the dog chasing his tail, going around in circles. And then you know what they say, if you keep doing that same thing over and over again, what, folks? It's called insanity. And every now and then we do have some type of insanity. So hopefully with this new president and some new ideas come up from the Congress and just from you folks doing the social media. Trust me, they all look at social media. Send them some ideas, folks, to help us out. Help your fellow man and woman out. Come out with some good ideas. There's plenty of room for negativity. But let's have some positive ideas as well, too. But first, we do have to talk about the negativity. We do, in order to get to the positive. And one other thing I like about him, and I'm going to let it go, that he said something about, we're going to slow down on this race and all this stuff. We know there's a few pockets of racism, but we're not going to keep focusing on that like it's the end of all. We know it's out there, and when we see it, we do what? We jump on it and get rid of it, right? We talk about it, and we do what we can to get rid of it, right? But racism isn't in everything that we do. Sometimes it's just bad habits, what you believe in, your culture. You know, a lot of things to do is with your culture. And guess what? Culture changes, right? We can change some culture things. I'm going to point out one real quick that's dear to me as a black man. I'm tired of hearing these rappers talk about black women and crime. I'm tired of that part. There's a lot of other stuff to rap about. I love rapping. I like rap music. I don't like to hear that old bad rap music. I like to hear positive black music, make you feel good. They even play rap music in commercials. But we don't need the cuss words. We don't need the N words. We don't need the sexual orientation. We don't need none of that. Yeah, I like sexual orientation and hurting somebody is a big deal. No, it's insanity, folks. You talk about other stuff, it'll sell. You selling your soul to the devil so you can talk about murdering and sex and stuff so you can make more money. Don't listen to those folks. Rap about some good stuff. some fun stuff. Have some fun. Do that. You got that talent to rap. Rap about some good stuff. You can send out a message about some bad stuff too that's going on without saying the bad words, without saying the sexual words. Study. Read. There's other rappers that done it before. Be positive. Let's build up rap. Let's change the culture. Okay? Let's tell our kids it's okay to go to school, get an education. It's okay to read and write. It's okay to open up the door for another person. It's okay to say thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Make you feel good. Don't you want to feel good instead of being angry all the time? So like I said, we got a new president in. You know, he got the good points and the bad points like me and you and everybody else. Nobody's perfect. But let's try to point out the good points. And then if we go too far with the bad points, let's point them out and talk to them and have a nice debate about it. And say, no, you need to chill out on that. That's not good. There's nothing wrong with that. But we got to do it in a positive way. This is Hard Hat Conversations coming at you live in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you for my fans for listening. And if you got any comments, like, subscribe. I'm out.